It is the order of Monday morning. The password is Om. Anyway, I hope you all had a good weekend, or as good as could be expected. Okay. Yes, today is Monday. Yes, yesterday was officially the equinox, the autumnal equinox up here in the northern hemisphere, and the spring equinox to our friends down under. And of course, when you're talking with magicians, the phrase "your friends down under" may have a wide interpretation. But I'm talking about our friends in the southern hemisphere. Anyway, it is the day that where eggs are supposed to balance on at the equator or something like that. But anyway, Constance and I were privileged last night to attend and be part of a very, very beautiful, originally created and produced Equinox ritual right here in Sacramento at a beautiful little temple. It was professionally and awesomely and initiatedly and adeptly executed ceremony, but more than that, it was awesome and consciousness altering, which is what a good ceremonial ritual should do. And part of that event, toward the end of it, with beautifully produced and dressed officers, and the temple was actually very, very lucky. In other words, if it was 50 years ago when I was first into this, I would have been just so blown out of my socks to see something like that. And I confess that now, 50 some years later, when I saw it, I was blown out of my socks still. And Constance and I just had a lovely time. Constance made her homemade lentil soup full of spinach and so good. Anyway, that being said, at the climax of the ritual, all of the attendees took part in a very simple little ritual that included a Eucharist ceremony at the end to seal the ritual, just like a closing of a Golden Dawn ritual or a Gnostic Mass where you take communion. And then we drew an oracle. And the way the cards were shuffled was so magnificently choreographed. It was awesome. Anyway, I'm teasing you all. I'm terribly sorry. But after the Eucharist, we were allowed to reach in a oracular bag and pull out a tarot card, which was going to be our oracle, each individual's personal oracle, kind of for the year. And you could show it to other people, or you didn't have to. Most people kept theirs personal, private. But of course, because I just don't know any better, I drew, and they used the Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. They had a couple of full decks of Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. Bless their hearts. I drew the devil. Now, besides always usually being happy to see the devil pop up in one of my readings, because it means something far more to me than oh, the devil, you evil in your life. No. And I'm going to share what Crowley has to say about the devil here in just a minute. But besides being happy to see the devil, I took it pretty personally. And the more I came home and sort of chewed on this as my oracle, the more meaningful it has become for me. And I won't, share the deeply personal insights that I'm developing about it. But what I thought I would do is share what Crowley has to say in the Book of Thoth. Our Monday Night Magic class, of course, is currently taking the Book of Thoth trumps, or Atu, one card at a time. Tonight we're on the adjustment card, or the justice card, so we're not on this, but we'll eventually get to Crowley's devil card. But just on the imagery and the stuff of ours, the devil card is Capricorn, and the Hebrew letter Ayin, which means an eye. And there is the sort of the sigil of the mercurial Genii, and of the prison of the Qliphoth. Okay, there's that. And we took our pattern of the devil card for the Tarot Ceremonial Magic out of chapter 33 of the Crowley's Book of Lies, where it talks about a black eagle, double-headed eagle, and a sharp sword, and a black triangle. And sort of when you squint your eyes, you can sort of see the outline of the classic double-headed eagle of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry and every crown head of Europe, or many of them, double-headed eagle kind of thing. So it's a very powerful card, okay, and it's a very sacred card. And it was just one of the two images that Eliphas Levi chose to exemplify in his, I believe it was Transcendental Magic. This and the Chariot card, oddly enough. And Levy's devil card looks more like the modern Baphomet. Okay. As a matter of fact, I believe this is actually, chapter 33 is actually called Baphomet in the Book of Lies. Now, on a tree of life, see if I got a pencil here, on a tree of life, the devil is right there, going from 6 to 8, right there, coming straight out of Tifereth. Now, just on the other side is the death card, going from 6 to 7. Now, the devil card is an Oyin, or an O, and the Nun card, or the death card, is Nun, or N. So it's O, N. Okay. Now ON is incredibly, it's a holy word right up there with OM. Okay. On, O-N is, well, it's ancient word for the sun. And actually, the city of the sun in Egypt, Heliopolis, was the Greekified thing, was called On. Okay, and so it's like a gate. It's like a gate here to the sun itself, or Tifereth, or the heart chakra, or the holy guardian angel. See, and the word for gate is Bab, B-A-B. So Bab, all, on is the gate to the God On. And on is, well, we have our word for the study of being is ontology. Okay, it's the essence of being itself, on. Okay, and I like to say we're always on when discussing reincarnation. You go, no, it's not really reincarnation because you're always on. It's Constance has the image of a light switch that's on top and on. Sorry, there ain't no off. Okay, at least no off that we can wrap our brains around. So the idea being here on a crude tree of life that I've just drawn there, we've got the devil in the death card over there and sticking up the middle, okay, as if to balance that too, or to allow it to penetrate itself into number 6 or Tifereth, or the knowledge and conversation of the holy guardian angel, is the art card or the temperance card. Okay. But right now we're just looking at this. And on Crowley's chart, the slopes of Abiegnos, that particular level is assigned sort of the magical workings of talismans. Okay, so that tells me a little something about perhaps what my oracle might mean to me in at least for the next 90 days, what work I might be which might be good for me to do. Here's what Crowley says about the devil, if you don't mind. And this is from the Book of Thoth, okay, my favorite edition, published by Weiser. This card is attributed to the letter Oyen, which means an eye, and refers to Capricornus in the zodiac. In the dark ages of Christianity, it was completely misunderstood. Eliphas Levi studied it very deeply because of its connection with ceremonial magic, his favorite subject. And he redrew it, identifying it with Baphomet, the ass-headed idol of the Knights of the Temple. But at this time, Eliphas Levi's time, archaeological research had not gone very far. The nature of Baphomet was not fully understood. And then he talks about that sort of when he talks about the Fool card. Okay, but at least he succeeded in identifying the goat portrayed upon the card with Pan. On the Tree of Life, Atu 13 and Atu 15, just like I showed you there, to 15, to 13, okay, devil and death. I really should be better organized for these things. Okay. The devil, 15. Death. Okay. On the Tree of Life, Atu 13 and 15 are symmetrically placed. They lead from Tifereth, the human consciousness, to the spheres in which thought on one hand, thought right here, no, thought right here in 8, where thought on one hand and bliss, Netzach, sphere of Venus, bliss on the other, are developed. Between them, Atu 14, that's the art card right there. Between them, Atu 14 leads similarly to the sphere which formulates existence. Formulates existence. Gate to the God on. Formulates existence. This is quite a, let's see here if I've got other things here somewhere that I've disorganized myself. Let's see. There we go. Okay, those 3 truly help formulate existence, at least as we look at them going down or traveling down. Now, you know, I just threw these cards on. I cut out those Sephira and just threw it on the floor just minutes before I went on the air here. So, okay, let me move this stuff around. Okay, between them, the art card or the temperance card leads similarly to the sphere which formulates existence. And then he says, see a note on Atu 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. These 3 cards may therefore be summed up as the hieroglyph of the process by which idea manifests as form. Once again, let's just say these 3 cards. Okay, are the hieroglyph of the process by which idea manifests into form. This card represents creative energy in its most material form in the zodiac. Capricornus occupies the zenith. It is the most exalted of the signs. It is the goat leaping with lust upon the summits of the earth. Sign is ruled by Saturn. Okay, now very often, like in the weight deck or the BOTA deck or other kind of traditional standard decks, you see the devil sitting on his half throne, and sometimes on his chest or on his belly is the sign of Saturn. Okay, that's because of Capricorn and Saturn. Let's see, the sign is ruled by Saturn, who makes for selfhood and perpetuity. In this sign, Mars is exalted, showing it in its best form, the fiery material energy of creation. The card represents Pangenitor, the all-begetter. It is the tree of life as seen against a background of the exquisitely tenuous, complex, and fantastic forms of madness. Now, he says it's the divine madness of spring, but God, it's right in the middle of winter here. Against the background of the exquisitely tenuous, complex, and fantastic forms of madness, the divine madness of spring, already foreseen. In the meditative madness of winter. He got out of that one. For the sun turns northward on entering this sign. The roots of the tree are made transparent in order to show the innumerable leapings of the sap. Before it stands the Himalayan goat, with the eye in the center of his forehead, representing the god Pan upon the highest and most secret mountains of earth. I'm going to get these out of the way. His creative energy is veiled in the symbol of the wand of the chief adept, crowned with a winged globe and the twin serpents of Horus and Osiris. There they are right there. Okay. And he's got a poem here. Just a quick, hear me, O Lord of stars, for thee I have worshipped, ever with stains and sorrows and scars, with joyful, joyful endeavor. Hear me, O lily-white goat, crisp as a thicket of thorns, with a collar of gold for thy throat, and a scarlet bow for thy horns. The sign of Capricornus is rough, harsh, dark, even blind. The impulse to create takes no account of reason, custom, or foresight. It's divinely unscrupulous, sublimely careless of result. Quote, thou hast no right but to do thy will, do that, and no other shall say nay, for pure will, unassuaged of purpose, delivered from the lust of result, is every way perfect. That's from the Book of the Law, chapter 1. It is further to be remarked that the trunk of the tree pierces the heavens. About it is indicated the ring of the body of Nuith. Similarly, the shaft of the wand goes down indefinitely to the center of the earth. Another quote here, if I lift up mine head, I and my Nuit are one. If I droop down mine head and shoot forth venom, then is rapture of the earth, and I and the earth are one. That's from the Book of the Law, chapter 2. The formula of this card is then the complete appreciation of all existing things. Okay, if I were to cut to the chase and pick my oracle last night to give me advice for my attitude, my focus, what I should be open to for the next 90 days or the season ahead of me, I could have wrapped it up in a fortune cookie that said, the formula of this card is the complete appreciation of all existing things. Appreciate all existing things, Lon. He rejoices in the rugged and the barren no less than in the smooth and the fertile. All things equally exalt him. He represents the finding of ecstasy in every phenomenon, however naturally repugnant. He transcends all limitations. He is Pan. He is all. It's important to notice some other correspondences. The 3 vowel consonants of the Hebrew alphabet. Okay, the vowel consonants. There's very few vowel sounds. There's lots of what we call consonants. Lots of T's and B's and okay, but there's very few that are A-E-I-O-U in sound. Okay. Ah. Okay, we could say Aleph, but Oyen is one of these vowel consonants, and Aleph, is one of these vowel consonants, and Yod, yeah. Okay. All three. Well, Yod is also I. So I-O, O, E-A-O. The Hebrew alphabet, see, vowel consonants of the Hebrew alphabet, Aleph, Yod, Oyen. These three letters form the sacred name of God, E-A-O. These three Atu, number 10, which is the Hermit card, O, which is the devil, and number 5, Atu 10, 0 is the fool, of course, and 15. So hermit, fool, devil, E-A-O. Thus offer a threefold explanation of the male creative energy. But this card especially represents the masculine energy in its most masculine. Duh! Saturn, the ruler, is Set, the ass-headed god of the Egyptian deserts. He's the god of the south. The name refers to all gods containing these consonants, such as Shaitan or Satan. Essentially, to the symbolism are the surroundings, barren places, especially high places. The cult of the mountain is the exact parallel. This is like Night on Bald Mountain, European. Let's get crazy. Kiss some goat butt, okay? The Old Testament is full of attacks upon kings who celebrated worship in high places. This, although Zion itself was a mountain. This feeling persisted even to the days of the witches' Sabbath, held if possible on desolate summits, but if none were available, at least in a wild spot uncontaminated by the artfulness of man. Note that Shabbatai, the sphere of Saturn, is the Sabbath. Historically, the animus against witches pertains to the fear of the Jews whose rites, supplanted by the Christian forms of magic, had become mysterious and terrible. Panic suggested that Christian children were stolen and sacrificed and eaten. This belief persists to this day. Now, he was writing this in the 40s, hot off of the German Holocaust and genocide. In every symbol, this card, there is the allusion to the highest things and most remote. Even the horns of the goat are spiral to represent the movement of the all-pervading energy. Zoroaster defines God as having a spiral force. Compared the more recent, if less profound, the writings of Einstein. Okay, now is that enough mixed up with AA's that diagram of the lower part of the tree of life, where the different grades of the AA are indicated, and what it's appropriate to master in those levels. And among other things, the path of Oyen is talismans. And so I've spent a lot of time in my life on the subject of talismans, and maybe it might be a good time to revisit that. Anyway, that's it for today. That's my post Equinox Oracle talk, and I hope you all have a good week ahead of you, and are enjoying a little bit milder weather It'll still be 100 degrees here today. At least in our backyard, it says 90 something. Anyway, that's it for today. Until tomorrow, continue to be good to yourself, be good to each other. Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will.